there, and welcome to another Tarot by Fernanda reading. On today's video, we're gonna go over if you and this other person have a future together, okay? And we're focusing on a romantic future because, of course, sometimes there's people that will be in our lives, but we won't have a romantic connection with them specifically. Now, this reading is meant for you if you're wondering about someone who you do have a romantic attraction to, okay? This is not meant for people that you may be friends with someone and you don't feel attracted to this person in any way, but you're just wondering if it could be a good match. That is not that type of reading. This is really if you already have an attraction to this person, whether you're dating the person already, you dated at some point, but you may be, apart, even if it has been only a couple of weeks to a couple of years. Maybe you have never dated, but there's this romantic connection between you two or this attraction, then this is the right reading for you. And as always on my readings, I like to make them very straightforward. So all you have to do is pick one of the 4 piles. So this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. Now choose intuitively, and then in the comment section you can actually look at the timestamp, and I will see you in a second. I'll give you some time to choose, okay? Hi there, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. Okay, so we're going to be answering if there's a future between you and your person, if you pick this pile, okay? Now remember, this is a general reading, so only take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm just going to be looking at your cards first, and I will start your reading. Okay. Alrighty, okay. And I will leave your oracle cards over here for a second. And okay, to begin with, what is like one of the main obstacles in your connection with this person? So this applies whether you are with this person or not, okay? What is like the main obstacle to overcome? And here we got the High Priestess. In this case, it just feels like if you chose this pile specifically, there's a couple of things. Some of you may be very secretive to the point in which it doesn't mean that you're actually hiding bad things, okay? We're not talking about cheating here or betrayal. It's just that you keep things to yourself, either you or the other person, and this starts creating a big space between you two. Now, even if you're not with this person, it just seems like so many things, so many feelings are being, like they're not being told, they're not being communicated. Also, something I was really getting with you specifically, pile number 1, was that I just feel like some of you as a couple, you have gone through very like hardship or like tough times. Maybe like you both have experienced something really hard as a couple, and that because you did not express how much that hurt you, then it started creating a space between you two, okay? Let's say this is an example. This is not for everyone, but for some of you, pile number 1, I feel like some of you as couples, whether you're together or not, you actually went through a miscarriage or some type of like traumatic event that affected you both, but you never really spoke about it, okay? Now, another thing about this that angels are telling me to say is that for you specifically, you're the one who's asking about this person. Some of you left your magic. You kind of removed from this. You removed yourself from like your like this magic side or magical side that you have. And you kind of started living way too much in this human 3D society, okay? And they're just saying that you are a very magical human being, So you kind of disconnected from that to make your relationship work. And that ended up backfiring because part of you is really longing for that magical, mysterious connection, okay? Because that is you, that's who you are, and you cannot deny yourself just to make a relationship work, okay? So that is something that they really are mentioning. Now, in here, what I wanted to look at is what is keeping you actually apart, right? One thing is obstacles, but then sometimes I'm curious to know whether there's like family members or like maybe you live far from each other and that is what is keeping you apart for now, right? Now, if you are together, when I mean like what is keeping you apart really means like what is kind of working against you, you know, what is stopping you from working as a team. Okay, so in here you got this beautiful cards, which is Temperance and the Empress, and this is once again, I really do get the feeling that one, for some of you it's timing. You just feel like right person, wrong timing. There's a big message about that. There's this big belief for a lot of you like, oh, this person is a great person, but it's just maybe not the right time for me, or I'm not at a timing where I can appreciate the other person, whether those are your thoughts or your person's thoughts, okay? There is definitely great care for each other, I can tell in here, but it's just really this big belief of like wrong time, but right person. And also, it just seems like some of you have this idea that it's like unlikely for something to blossom from this. It's like there's this feeling of you already feeling nostalgic because there's an ending to it, because you cannot fathom how will you make something grow in your relationship. Now, because this is a blockage, the Empress usually it is about, you know, everything can grow. Like it's about fertility. But if this is your obstacle, for some of you, this could be that you're having issues with like fertility issues right now, or you feel like nothing can blossom from your relationship. You just feel like you're stuck. For some reason, you are not moving forward. Okay, so the Empress really represents what is nature, of like, you know, growing, fertility, things grow, right? But if it's the opposite and this is an obstacle or something that you feel like you cannot overcome, and this is why you're not working as a team, really has to do with you feeling like your relationship is not fertile. Like maybe you're dating and you're like, I just don't see how we can make it to like marriage, you know, or then have kids. Like you just don't see it possible. That's like a big obstacle for you. Now, when it comes to like what element in your relationship may be backfiring or lacking, okay, in this romantic connection, you got the earth element. Now, in every relationship, there's 4 elements, okay, for them to really work out. We got physical connection, which is the fire element. Then you got the water element, which is emotional connection. Earth element is commitment, you know. And the 4th element, it's air, which is communication and intellectual connection, okay? So in this case, your angels are saying that what is lacking or backfiring, okay, it's commitment. Now, in this case, I don't feel like there's no commitment towards each other. For you instead, for your specific connection between you and this person, I just feel like you kind of tied each other down and you let things like what society says to kind of be the standards of what is right and what is wrong. So let's say that you feel pretty happy being with someone and never marrying that person, right? And intuitively, and yeah, you're happy. You don't have to marry that person. But because society has told you like, no, like this person doesn't really love you if he or she doesn't propose, or like you guys have to do things right. So then comes the unhappiness because you're asking for things that you're asking them because society has imposed those things, but genuinely and truly they don't really matter to you, but you have played this society game for too long that has actually come to affect your relationship, okay? So, you know, like anything, by society, I mean, like, anything that other people have probably made it mainstream of, like, guys who should always pay for, let's say, women, right, on the first date. If that's something that you don't even care about, like, that's something that you don't care about, but because everyone says that, like, that is how guys show, like, respect and interest on women, then you're gonna be wanted to have that, but genuinely that was not something you really care about to begin with. Okay, so you get my point. You're starting to worry about a lot of things that genuinely they're not even, like, they didn't come from you. They came from this whole social media or society beliefs of, like, how a relationship should be, okay, and how you're supposed to feel in a relationship. Now, I'm seeing here that there's definitely a lot of, like, caring for each other, and I think that you are really focused on the future. Okay, you're focused on, like, this person has potential, this relationship has potential, but do you see that your focus really has to do with, like, the future? Like, I'm not satisfied with who he is or what we have right now. I need to change this. This is your behavior, okay? This is your energy. While for him or her, whoever that is, they're focused instead of, like, the past, but they really are in love with you. Like, with this Six of Cups, they do see you as someone who they have a really special connection with. They see you as their happy place. They see you as, like, their home. Now, if you're not together, like, just letting you know, this person really thinks of you as like, he or she had the best moments in his life when he was with you. Like, that's how he's thinking or she's thinking, okay? They really are very nostalgic, and they really think about the past with you and how joyful you used to be and how things used to work. So this other person, they're focusing on how you used to be. And I'm just thinking that that is because probably in the beginning you were very more relaxed compared to now. And now you're so focused instead on commitment, on moving forward with this person, to be serious with this person, but really you want to fix this connection, and you want to fix this person as well, because you don't feel that as he or she is, they're good enough for this to work out, okay? While this person is not trying to change you, this person really is focusing that, like, on the love or care he or she has for you, okay? So these are two very different energies. Now, when I'm asking the angels, like, is there, like, a future here for you? They're actually saying it is up to you, okay? With this Two of Swords, instead of saying no or saying yes, they're saying at the end of the day, it will have to be your choice, because I really see here that there's some changes needed for this to work out. I'm not saying the other person is perfect or anything, because we're not doing a dive in, like, we're not diving in his character or her character and, like, their intentions and their feelings and, like, any blockages they have. I'm not doing that. Really, with this picture, I'm already getting that, I feel like you have a tendency maybe sometimes of controlling how things go, and you focus so much on fixing people, and maybe you make people a project of your own, and you're not happy with how it is right now. And they're telling you that things are not going to change. So really, at the end of the day, you will have to choose if you want to stay in this relationship or not, because they really are telling you you have high hopes for the future of, like, this person changing and the dynamic of the relationship to change. And if you're not with this person, this could be that you're hoping that, you will, if you get back together, things will change and be different from, like, how you were together in the past. But no, angels are saying this is not going to change. This is really up to you and to choose. Are you happy with this type of relationship? If yes, then stay together or get back together. But the person itself, he's not or she's not going to change. And you have to understand that. Okay, so this choice is yours, because you have no control over what the other person does. And most likely this person is not going to change, okay? Now, how this actually will end up happening, with the Seven of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Moon, it is very clear that they're saying that it's very clear that you're still going to spend some time confused, okay? You see this octopus that has several things and doesn't know which one to choose because he's really confused, okay? So this is your energy, I will say, for the next month or so. And then they're saying that at the end of the day, you two will have to have a conversation. You will have to leave feelings on the side. Also, there's a big, focus on how much time, energy, and money you have spent on this person. And they're telling you that it will be time for you to be like, get over that and be like, we have to make a decision. We have to put our hearts on the side and just more like let our mind and be more realistic and make the hard calls, okay? And in this, I feel like you will come into an agreement. You will set boundaries as well. And in that period of time that follows this really important conversation, there's the moon, okay, stage. And this is when you finally, you're walking towards the light. And sometimes the light means splitting up, and sometimes the light means finding a balance in your relationship, okay? And this is a stage in which you will finally realize if the love or this insistence that you are feeling, or this, I just really feel like you want to make this relationship work, or this romantic connection work. But this, at the end of this stage, you will then realize, was this actually love and this person is right for me, or was this an illusion, okay? And you will get over your subconscious fears of being alone. I think that you too have this subconscious fear of being alone, and you're just scared of what will be life without each other, okay? Like, I feel like for some of you, what's keeping you together is not the love for each other right now, but the fear of not having each other in each other's life. All right, let's see what angels have to say as well on your relationship. Now, they're saying that one of your biggest strengths as in this connection is joy, okay? But at the same time, one of your biggest shadow is when you're being ungrateful. It's like, for the joy part, I just feel like you really are really great friends. I get this feeling that you really are great friends, or really comfortable with each other somehow, okay? Now, however, you're kind of at this point of your relationship, you are no longer, you and this other person may fail at times to be grateful for one another, for what the other person does. Like, I do think that you have passed that honeymoon stage already. Angels are saying that, of course, there's a lot of chemistry, and this relationship is from a past life as well. Like, you have known each other in the past, and this is why I really think that you two fear of not being with each other, not because some of you may no longer have real romantic connection, but because you fear of not having the other person in your life, because you know this person from a very long time, so it feels like home. But maybe in this life, this is not the right person for you, okay? And that is your call to make. Now, they're, of course, saying acceptance and the path. The path will be shown once that you go through this moon stage, in which you kind of realize what is an illusion, what are fears, what are decisions you're making based on fear, and what is actually what you want genuinely. And then once that you do that, the path will be shown to you. Okay? Of course, there's going to be some adjustments that will be made, and there's a fiery climax approaching. Like I said, there's going to be a big conversation happening. Even if you're not together, you will be in touch again, and you will have this really important conversation. Now, once again, your angels are mentioning this magical psychic abilities that you have, and that just, sometimes we don't realize how much our relationships have you can take a toll on us, or have like such a big influence. And they're just saying that, once again, they're reminding you that you have such a magical side that you kind of left or forgot about it because of this relationship, okay? So that's just really important for you to remember. And yeah, that is pretty much the reading for you, pile number 1. I hope that you like it. You already know that if you do want to support me, the best way will be to subscribe, give it a like, comment, share with your friends, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading. Now, you chose this pile. I'm gonna leave this here. And here are your oracle cards, which I'm also gonna leave over here, and I'm gonna start looking at your tarot cards, okay? Just remember, this is a general reading, so only take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's see, I'm just going to show you the cards first. Alrighty, okay. So to begin with, we're going to look at what is actually the biggest obstacle in your relationship or in your connection, whether you are together or not right now. The Hangman is the energy that kind of represents the obstacle. And I just feel like a lot of you, if you pick this pile, one, you already do feel stuck in your relationship. You feel like you don't have a way out. I mean, if you are wondering if there's a future for this relationship, I'm guessing you do still have some, romantic interest. But some of you, either you or the other person, really feel stuck in this relationship, and they feel like, sometimes when you're being forced to stay in a way, there's this feeling of that. Also, one of the biggest problems in here, or like obstacles, it's the fact that you two have very, very different mentalities. It just seems like when it comes to, intellectual discussions or something, any topic, okay? Think of any topic, and, he or she has a specific way of seeing things, and you have a very different way of seeing things. And so it's just like, intellectually speaking, when it comes to your opinions, you have a very different mentality and different way of seeing things. So that also is a big obstacle in your relationship. Okay? It just seems that you could be, both of you, very smart and even met at, like, I don't know, law school, let's say, right? But you really think differently. You want different things in life. So it seems like you have hit a wall. Now, another thing that is what is stopping you from working as a team, or let's say if you're not together right now, but you dated at some point, or you have never dated, but there's those romantic feelings between you two. What is keeping you apart is the fact that you cannot decide, you cannot make a decision, not only you but the other person as well. It just seems that it's, sometimes it's not as clear or so easy to make this decision. Okay, let's say that they have to choose between you, like a job in a different country, or giving a try to your relationship, right? That is a really, really, really hard choice to be made, because you feel like either way you're gonna be losing something or someone that is really important for you. So one of the things of like why you are apart is just because none of you seem to have enough clarity to make this choice. None of you has enough, like, sometimes when you do a pro and a cons list, like sometimes it really helps you because you see right away what seems to have more pros. But in this case, it's like, you just can't decide, because there's not a big factor, or there's not a big difference between the two choices. And this is what's going on, indecision. You also, when you are at this point, it's because probably you kind of didn't listen to your intuition for a very long time, you or the other person. And now, because you waited so long, now you're at this point in which it gets harder and harder to make a decision. Just like when you go shopping and you're like thinking of like, should I go with the red shirt, or that's my dog, or the blue shirt, okay? And the more you think about it, rather than making a quick decision, then the harder it gets, okay? And the less you see kind of like the difference between the two outcomes. So indecision is a big factor in here why you're not together, or if you are together, why you are not working as a team. It's just that, there's sometimes one of us could be like, okay, we'll do whatever you want, but the other person doesn't even know either. So this is why you two are not working as a team, because neither of you have the capacity right now or want to be the one making the decision, okay? Either to stay or to go, or to tell the other person, no, I want you to be with me, I choose you. Like, none of you want to actually be that person, because I think that there's a lot of responsibility attached to it. Now, when it comes to what element is lacking or is missing in your relationship, I usually tell people like there's 4 pillars in each relationship that must be there for them to work out. Compromise, physical attraction, emotional attraction or emotional connection, and then there's also intellectual connection, right? Now, in this case, when I was asking that, your angels actually did not give me one of those elements. Instead, what they said is the Hermit. They're telling you that what is lacking is actually for you to be looking for, to be not to be looking, to prioritize self-exploring, spiritual enlightenment, things like that. They actually, I don't know if you're someone who's very like rational or very intellectual, but they're saying that what is actually lacking that could actually help you make this decision is instead take an approach of like more of like a spiritual approach, and take the time to do some self-exploration to understand what you want out of life and what is best for you, okay? They're also talking about like isolating yourself for some time, you or the other person. What is lacking is giving each other your own space so you can kind of find out what each one of you want, rather than just always being around each other and not giving a space to figure that out on your own, right? Because then your needs are mixed up with the other person's needs. So that is a big thing as well in here. Now, when it comes to like to know whether you have feelings for this person, what feelings this person has for you, they're saying that for you, you're taking a very more like realistic intellectual approach with this. How you feel about this person is you feel like this is the right match for you, okay? But the approach you're taking is more of an intellectual one, is more of a realistic one, and not necessarily one coming from like an emotional side or even a physical attraction type of, feeling here. So really for you, it's like you're trying to be rational, and you feel like, okay, it just makes sense. He or she is the right match for me. I know that because I'm like this and this person is like this, we should be a really great match. But that is more how you're seeing it subconsciously, whether you have accepted that for your like to yourself or not. But or also by this, like taking a realistic choice, it could be that, hey, we have dated for 5 years. It just makes sense. We're going to stay together. It doesn't mean that you don't have actual genuine feelings for this person. It just means that the way that you're thinking right now, your main focus has to do with what makes sense and not with how you actually feel. You could be like, hey, well, this person was my high school sweetheart. It just makes more sense if I do end up with this person. It's very like you're not really focusing whether you feel or not strong feelings or an impulse of staying in this connection. Now, the other person instead, their element, how they connect the most with you, like how they feel about you, has to do with the physical connection. They feel very attracted to you, right? But they also do feel like there's a lot of effort to be put in this relationship. They do feel a bit overwhelmed of how much effort they seem to have to be making to stay in this relationship. So both of you, like, I just don't feel like you're tired. You don't seem to be tired about this, but you really want things to work out, but you're seeing it from a logical approach, okay? And he actually, or her, I don't know, this person feels very attracted to you and really wants to put the work, but at the same time, if it's very exhausting and it can make someone feel like claustrophobic. Oh yeah, that word. You already know what I'm trying to say. So it's just, he feels like, or she feels very confined, So that is something that you have to take into consideration. Now, when it comes to whether there's actual future in your relationship, what your angels were saying, it's a no. There is no future in this connection. Now, this is a general reading, but this is the answer right now from your angels. And I'm going to explain a little bit more why, because it's very important for you to see until the end, because there's someone else, okay? This is why they're telling you no. They're telling you it's a no for this connection specifically because there's something you don't know. There's information that is hidden. I'm not talking about cheating or betrayal, okay? I'm just saying that there's information that if you knew, then it will be for you much more easier to make this choice and realize that this is not the connection for you. So this is telling you it's a no. There's no future in this connection for you two, a romantic one. You can stay in each other's lives, but romantically speaking, for now, your angels are saying that that wouldn't make sense because there's actually something else for you, okay? Now, I'm going to be focusing more on you right now because this is what actually they're telling me. I don't know whether this other person will find someone else, but this is what's going to end up happening that they're telling me about. So, probably you watch this video, you're not going to take any action on it, okay? I really see it here with the Four of Swords. You're going to try to not take any action on this. You're going to sleep on it, think on things. You're actually going to take your sweet time. I do feel like you're going to really not act on this or on your gut feeling for the next couple month or two. And you're going to let things develop. But at some point, it's just going to haunt you way too much that you're going to realize that you really genuinely have to make a choice. You take more of a peaceful approach to begin with, thinking, as long as I don't think about it, I don't stress about it, everything should be fine, the issues will disappear. I will be happy. You will convince yourself that you can be happy with this person. But part of you is uneasy with this decision or this way of doing things because a big part of you really wants to be happy and really feels like you deserve something else or something different, and you deserve to feel different feelings. So that is when you going to start having a harder time to just pretend nothing is going on. That is when in a couple of months, I will say, everyone has a different process. They're saying that you will finally actually feel ready to let go because this connection is weightening you too much, okay? Whether you are with this person or not, you're gonna let go of this romantic connection. Because when I like to say connection more than relationship, because people sometimes don't realize that even when you're not with that person, if there's like a romantic interest from his side and your side, you two, there's that energetic cord between you two. So it's like whether you're together or not, it just seems like you're finally gonna cut it because you realize that this connection with this person is just weighting you down a lot and it's not letting you fly high. Now, the reason behind it, and I wasn't gonna do this, but I wanted to share why they were saying no. It's because they're telling you that there's something else out there, someone else, another emotion, like romantic connection that you will be very satisfied about, okay? Really satisfied about, that is meant for you. This is a really important romantic connection. For some of you, you actually already know this person, okay? For some of you, you already know this person, and they're just telling you that this connection will be the connection you actually will feel satisfied with, okay? You'll feel very happy that you made this choice, but this feeling only comes after you have made the executive choice and the brave choice of cutting the romantic cord with this other person. Now, let me see what other messages your angels have for you, okay? In this current connection, they're telling you that gratefulness is a big strength on your relationship, whether you're the one who's showing it more or the other person is showing it more, but gratefulness is something that is a strength, okay? Now, greediness is something that is kind of a shadow in your relationship. This can take different forms, okay? Greediness, sometimes, when something, whatever you have is not enough. Maybe the other person may be talking to other people because his or her greediness wants too much attention. So this is a shadow in your relationship. Now, they're telling you that it is important, of course, to express your love to the other person, to take more of a romantic approach and, just trust that things will work out the way they have to work out. Now, there's definitely, and this is why I was saying that I don't see you two actually splitting up yet or in like a near future. I will say give it a couple months for you to make a decision that you're comfortable with. Remember, you do have free will. But because I do see that there's going to still be a lot of pleasure in this connection. But then comes the darkness. So the darkness, it's because you have to make a really important choice here for you to be able to walk towards the light. Now, of course, emotions will be running high for some time. And they're telling you, just like you're going to take some time for yourself, or that it's really important for you to isolate yourself for a bit, just so you can know what is what you really want and don't mix it with what the other person wants, okay? Now, this is something, another message that really has to do only with you, is that your angels are saying that you have so much potential and that you're meant to you're meant to fly really high in life, but this connection is pulling you down, okay? And that, yes, you're meant to be, sometimes people get very sad and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die alone. No, you're not. They're being very clear that you're meant to be very happy, and there is definitely a romantic connection already waiting for you. But you have to make this decision on your own. And when you do that, it's because you choose to fly high. You realize what is your potential. The solar plexus chakra represents your inner and outer potential, okay? When you know inside that you have this potential. And this is why your angels are saying what could help, what is lacking in the relationship that will help you to make a decision is self-exploring, is spiritualism for a bit. Whether you are someone who's religious, who only believes in science, you have to understand that taking some time to do some self-exploring and understand why you are the way you are, what are your deepest fears, things, what you want in life, this is very beneficial, because then you also take consciousness of your inner and outer potential. And this is why then you end up flying really high in life, okay? Now, this is also a fire energy or fire element. So I don't know if you are a fire element, but they also, when you connect with that fire element in your life, then you also get more creative. You have an inner confidence and nothing can stop you, okay? Alrighty, group number 2. I hope that this was helpful. You already know the best way to help me grow. It will be subscribing, give it a like, comment, support by sharing with your friends, and well, I'll see you next time, okay? Bye. Hi there, pile number 3, and welcome. If you chose this pile, you are at the right place. Alrighty, so I got here your oracle cards, which I'm gonna leave on the side. And I'm going to start with your tarot cards to first see what obstacles are you going through, what is keeping you apart, or stopping you from working as a team, what feelings this person has for you, what feelings you actually have for this person, and then also, of course, to see whether there's a future between you two or not, what your angels do say. Just remember that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates. And yeah, so let's start with your reading, okay? Alrighty. Okay, so to begin with, one of the biggest things that actually is the biggest obstacle in your relationship, here you got the 5 of Swords. This has to do everything with the ego, okay? So it's just the ego kind of is always a blockage in your relationship, whether you're together right now or you were together at some point. That ego has always been like the biggest issue. Like there's no proper communication when the ego is involved, okay? So here you can even see like this person, it looks like she's trying to say something, but he is so ready to leave, okay? And it's just because it's like when you two are being too impulsive with each other, so you get like mad at one another, and you just this game, like I don't know if you have had this experience in other relationships of like the whoever has the ball in their court has like the power. So it just feels like you say something and you get mad, and then he has to be like go after you, and then he gets mad and then you go after him, and things like that. It's that type of interaction in which you're constantly fighting for who is right, who is in the right, and who has the power, okay? Who can make the calls based on manipulation, feeling guilty, who did something wrong to the other person. So that type of egocentric energy is a big blockage in your relationship, okay? There is a lot of love in your relationship, but this is a big thing. It's a dynamic, a very unhealthy dynamic that you two have going on. Also, hurtful words. I just feel like when you communicate, some of you are actually swearing a lot and can be really hurtful, and that is not proper communication, okay? Now, another thing that kind of is keeping you apart, okay, a thing that is keeping you apart or from working as a team, here you got innocence, okay? which is number 0. For some of you who are not familiar with this deck, this is actually the Fool, okay, which is this the first card in Tarot. Now, with this, what your angels are really letting me know is that some of you, like, this could be, of course, your first relationship, but also, like, you two very not treat each other. You behave very childish, okay? You kind of went in this relationship without really thinking, are we like a good match? How can we properly communicate? This could happen, you may be very different from each other because, of course, opposites do attract, but it's just that because you don't have the skills, you or the other person, to deal with, like, a mature relationship, grown-up adult relationship, then this is why, like, so many misunderstandings happen. Another thing also, for some of you, this relationship specifically, once again, whether you dated this person already or not, or you dated but you're not together, it just seems that for some of you, this relationship was your first real love or your first relationship. So many things went wrong because, you didn't know what you compare it to, and you kept fighting and it was very heated, and it was very immature, okay? So I think that a lot of you may not actually be together right now, but this relationship in question that you're asking about was like your first real love, or it was the other person's first real love, and you were kids when you met, and you were kids when you loved each other. And so there's this beautiful innocence, but at the same time there's a chaotic innocence because you go in with a real plan, okay? I'm telling you, I see in here that you two care so much for each other, but what went wrong is that you were not mature enough when you first met. This is why I think that a lot of you are actually right now not together. You're asking about someone you dated in the past, or that you met, never dated, but you always wanted to, but there's a lot of history already. And a big thing was that you two were not ready. You two were very innocent, and although you had good intentions, it didn't work out the way you wanted to work out, okay? But there's so much love in here, I can tell you. Now, when it comes to what may be lacking in your relationship or in this connection, or what may be working against you, when I ask this question in my readings, in my private readings, I'm always looking for that element or that pillar in a relationship that is essential for things to work out. And I don't know if you knew, but there's 4 elements. We got the physical connection, we got the emotional connection, intellectual connection, and commitment. Okay, so those are the 4 things that you need in a relationship. Now, in this case, we're talking about the physical connection. Now, I'm not saying that there was no good physical attraction between you and this person, but I just feel like what was working against you is, once again, because of the innocence and because you were each other's first love in a way, a part of you, either you or the other person, is looking for other experiences, is looking to explore a bit more, before they actually end up in this relationship they want to end up with. So there's here a bit of more exploring when it comes to that sexual side. Once again, you could have really amazing sexual life, right? But because, again, you're very young, it's in a lot of people, although they're very happy, they still want to explore and feel things with other people as well before they end up settling down. So there's this part of the relationship that was lacking, and this is why a lot of you actually split up. Now also, it just feels like there was a lot of adventures to go on before you could actually find each other again, but as an individual. Okay, so this is one of the reasons also why you are not together, or if you're together, you're having a lot of issues, okay, or miscommunication. Now, when it comes to what the person feels for you, what you feel for this person, let me start first with what you feel for this person, okay? So here with the 10 of Pentacles, it is very clear that for you, this person is home, okay? This person is where you want to end up. This person is who you want to build a family with, who you want to buy a house with, okay? you really see this person when you're ready to settle down, or if I just, because I get a feeling that you don't yet, but when you are, you picture yourself with this person. That's how you feel about this person. You really, there's a lot of care for this person, and he or she is your home. Now, this other person, whether you are in contact with this person or not, I'm just telling you, this person feels so attracted to you. They also feel like, she or he also feels like you are their happiness. There's this mention of like, they just said, there's this thing that says, if I even ever get married, it will be to you. Right? And this is telling me that maybe the person you're asking about is not necessarily like a marriage type of person, but they just said, if I were ever to be with someone or marry someone, the only person I could do this for would be you. Right? So I really have a strong feeling that there's some more exploring, more adventures that are left to happen for you two individually in a way, but you two really do think that you are each other's future. Okay, so there's a lot of love, but this person also is very attracted to you physically. I'm just gonna say that. Now, when it comes to whether there's a future between you and the other person, I want to tell you that the answer from your angels, it's a big yes. But it's not just a yes, like yes, there's a future for you too, but also when this happens, because most likely for a lot of you, like this is something that has to happen in your life. With this Six of Coins, this is saying that once that this happens, things will be how they should have been, or things go back right to their place. So so there's a big feeling of this is how things should be. Like, I don't want to say you belong to each other, but this is how it should be, and this is how it will be. There's that type of message. So really, you shouldn't be stressing about it. This will end up happening. But when this happens, your relationship will be fair, will be just this time. Because I get a hint that maybe you or the other person felt like they were doing more than you, or you were doing more than them, her or him, and it was unfair. The interaction in the relationship was unfair. So when you actually are together to build a future together, when you get back together, it will be because things will be fair, things will be balanced, your relationship will make sense. Now, before I go on with the future of like what can you expect in the future in this relationship, I just wanted to show you your shadow energy and your light energy. So in your shadow energy, we got the ego. Once again, your ego or his ego has actually been blocking your relationship for a very long time. This could mean that none of you reach out to each other, or if you're together, none of you actually wants to express their feelings and be like the one saying like, I do want to be with you, right? Like none of you wants to do that because you have such a big ego that you don't want to, you feel like that will be weakness. Now, your strength in your relationship, it's peace. So when things are working out, everything seems to be working out and flowing in your life. Like when you're with this person, you feel like things have a sense, and like you find like a meaning to life. Like, yeah, I really get this feeling that when you are with this person, you kind of find meaning to your life in a way. And like maybe if you or the other person tend to be more realistic or pessimist, I know that this was peace, but I really get that you get a hint of magic when you're with this person, okay? Alrighty, now let me tell you about what can you expect in the relationship in the future, okay? How will things develop? So, first of all, for you to actually be together, you have to be satisfied on your own. You have to be very satisfied with the things you have achieved. You have to be satisfied with the things that you have in your life and where you are in life. You have to be, in a very good place, and the other person as well, for you to actually come together to an everlasting union. After that, we got the actual reunion. For some of you, this will be a reunion, but for some of you, this is, already like you were already together, but this will be a found balance in your relationship, okay, and harmony as well. So this is telling me that you two are actually soulmates. You do have a soul contract. Now, like I always like to say, you do have more than one soulmate, so don't get stuck by the word soulmate. Use your common sense, but in here they tell me you do have a soul contract with this person, which is why you feel so attracted to this person. Now, with the Nine of Staves, they really are telling me that there's such a strong physical connection. You two devour each other like with your eyes, like you really feel attracted. That physical connection is there, and you know it's really important in every single relationship, but it's just that you two make one, and at the end there's triumph. So I just feel like if you pick this pile, you definitely has gone through a very long journey. And this is why I really get this feeling that a lot of you are actually not together. Or if you are together, you have been dating for a very long time, or you have known each other for a very long time. And finally, when you are reunited, things will be like kaboom. Like they will be really, really magical. It will be like fireworks. So I just think that also something I want you to see is, do you see here there's like a thread that she's holding? So this is really like when you understand that your life has, you know, like everything that has happened has led you to this. And if you follow your life path and you trust in what you have come to do in this life, what you have come to experience, who have you come to meet in this life, you will understand that everything happens for a reason. Now, there's definitely going to be wedding in this connection. I really feel like you two or one of you is more of like a gypsy type of person or an adventurer. And because I really get this big message of like, if I were to marry someone, it would be you. And then we also got make an effort. So this message, of course, I know that none of you want to be the first person to take the first step, but they really are saying if you do want something extraordinary, you have to do something extraordinary, okay? Now, we also got will and self-reflection. So for things to work out, I'm not saying that it's going to be super easy, because I think that you two have really big egos. But I think that also you may be like very opposite from each other, but you have to understand that once that you make a decision, you just need to stop making excuses and put the work. And also that this person that you're asking about is your mirror, is your self-reflection. So even though you think you're very different from one each other, you're actually very similar, and this person is showing you things that you don't want to see. So this person, because they're a soul contract, a soulmate of yours, it's perfect for you to be doing your shadow work. Now, of course, we got here surrender to the divine. It is time to take action. Once again, if you do want something extraordinary, you do have to take the steps for this. And I know that no one will want to be the first person to message or to have this really important conversation, but it has to happen, okay? Then we got opportunity and feminine. So with the opportunity, mainly really what they're saying is, you probably, if you're not together, you have already had a couple opportunities to get in touch with this person, whether you bump into him or you, I don't know, you end up working at the same place. I don't know. There's like so many ways that you could have gotten in touch with this person, and they're telling you this keeps happening for a reason, and you have to take these opportunities, okay? Now, if you are together, it also is like they're just telling you there has been so many opportunities for you to have a proper conversation or to give each other space for then come back together. It's time for you to be brave enough to actually take upon these opportunities. And to do so, connecting with your feminine energy is very recommended. Now, you could be a man or a woman, doesn't matter, but it's just they really are saying that you have to connect with that divine feminine energy, which is a nurturing energy, which is an empathetic energy as well, okay? Alrighty, group number 3. I hope that this was helpful. Now, you already know what is the best way to support my channel. Subscribe, give it a like, comment, share with your friends and family members, and well, I will see you next time. Bye. Hi there, pile number 4. Um, Here are your cards, okay? And let's look at what your angels have to say about your connection with this person, whether you're dating this person or not, and what they have to say whether there's a future with this person or not, okay? So I'm gonna start placing your cards over here, and and I'll explain you in a bit what they're trying to tell you. Okay, now just remember, pile number 4, this is a general reading, so only take what resonates and leave the rest. And okay, so to begin with, they're saying that one of the main obstacles in your relationship for a lot of you, looking at the overall energy, okay, I think for some of you, someone is actually involved, okay? Someone else, a third party is one of the biggest obstacles, and not necessarily like romantically speaking, okay? It doesn't have to be like another woman or man is interested in your partner. It's more of like, sometimes there's like friends or family members that play a big role in the relationship. Whatever they have to say about the relationship or about you, that will always affect. So here I do sense a third party involved in your connection. You will know whether this is a family member, a friend, or maybe actually someone who is trying to get in between you two. So this was one of the main obstacles. Another thing I will say as well, some of you, it's either you or the other person may be partying a lot, going out a lot, to the point in which alcohol and some type of like drugs use can actually become like a hardship in your relationship, or can make it uncomfortable as well. So this is an energy that is actually pulling it down. Another thing, of course, for you, it will be like some of your friends or this person's friends. It's just like they're not really supportive of this connection, and like I said, their opinion does play a role in your relationship. Now, another obstacle here that you have in your relationship, with here we got the Magician. So this as an obstacle, that means that one, you two, the person you're interested in yourself, are not taking advantage of your full potential. You're not living your best life, which then turns into frustration, okay? This will turn into frustration because when you're not being who you're meant to be, so then in reverse, then you're not really manifesting what you want in your life. You're not really accomplishing what you want in your life. And this doesn't have to do with money. This is like in any areas of your life. So also the Magician as an obstacle, as a shadow energy, this becomes a trickster. I have a feeling that in your connection, whether you're together or not, you manipulate each other a lot. Rather than clearly communicate your needs, or the other person clearly communicating his or her needs to you, you actually try to manipulate each other, which already, that can never do something good in your relationship, because now we're actually talking about controlling one another. Rather than going straight forward to this person and telling them how you're feeling or what you want out of this relationship, you just try to manipulate the other person. Like I'm saying, is either you to this person or the other person to you. It just seems like your angels are saying that this connection, you two could learn so much from each other, and there could be so much potential, but because you're expecting the other person to fulfill you rather than you already be feeling fulfilled and comfortable and very proud of your achievements, your glass is half full and you're expecting the other person to fill the rest of your glass, okay? There's a dependency in here. Now, another thing they're also telling me about this connection specifically, they're telling me that creativity is kind of right now a bit out of the window, because in this case, they're saying that if you are together, when something that kind of worked against you two in your relationship or in the past in your relationship was you weren't doing new things. It kind of became like it turned into a a routine, okay? One of you start feeling a bit boring, or I mean, not boring, a little bit bored by the connection or the relationship. And there was no spontaneity anymore. Like, you were not being spontaneous, you or the other person, and it just became very routine like. So then it just feels also that when you are together, you kill each other's creativity in a way. I'm not sure if it's because of the fighting or what is going on, but it's like your focus is on other things, which then does not allow any of you to actually be creative and be fiery. I think that one of you must be a fire sign, to be honest. Now, also another thing that your angels are saying when it comes to what do you feel for one another, first of all, your feelings towards this person, it's like you're very defensive and you're very protective of this person. And once again, this is telling me that there must be a third party or something that works against your relationship. This could be, it could be also that your partner is more flirty, is more out and about, and there's always people interested in her or him, which makes it hard for you, and you always feel like you have to be on the defense and you have to be very protective of your relationship, okay? And this can be tiring at some point, okay? So this is like you just feel like you always have to set boundaries for him or her and yourself to protect your relationship. You feel very protective towards this person. Also, you feel very attracted physically to this person you're asking about, okay? Now, this other person feels very attracted physically to you as well. This is why I'm saying that probably one of you two are actually a fire sign, or maybe both of you, but because there's such a strong fire connection. And by nature, I find that you two are very creative people, but when you're together, it just seems because you're pulling each other down in a way, then you cannot let your creativity out. You don't feel as connected with your creativity. Now, when it comes to her or him, he does actually feel very attracted to you. Like I said, he really cares about you, and he does feel like grateful of like having you in his or her life, I would say. But in this case as well, I just feel like, yes, usually this energy is about marriage, but in this case, I just feel like this person sees as or just wants to have fun right now, okay? Just wants to enjoy life and is not really like ready to settle down, just wants to enjoy life. And they see you as a perfect partner to party or to have fun. They do care about you and they do have love for you, but there's some hints in here of the energy that I'm feeling that this person may just want to enjoy life and may not be really aware of your specific needs, okay? Now, before I move on, I also want to look at your light and shadow energy in this connection. So, okay, this makes more sense. So not yours specifically, but your connection's shadow energy is chaos, okay? So your relationship is very chaotic. I think that you two could be like really creative or artistic people, very passionate, and you are so attracted to each other. You really are. But when you're together, it's very chaotic, and I just feel like you're so protective of this relationship while the other person really wants to have fun. And then your strength is emotions. As creative people, you have to be able to connect with all the emotions possible to get inspired, okay? Whether you're a dancer, writer, you make candles, whatever it is, you really connect to every sense because that reminds you of a specific emotion, okay? So I just feel like emotions is a strength in your connection. I really think you're very your relationship is one of those mainly right now that I'm listening to Taylor Swift again, it just makes me think of Red. You know that song, or I Knew You Were Trouble? Because, of course, it's such an amazing connection and physical attraction as well. And it's like, when you look back, you although whether it ended well or not, you just feel like that relationship was worth it because it made me have all the feels, okay? So just, I really see it as very chaotic, but I understand why you will be really attracted to this connection. Now, your angels are actually saying that when it comes to like, does it have this connection? Does it have a future? Their answer is no, okay? And I actually asked more than once because I was getting mixed energies and mixed feelings about this reading specifically, but they confirmed more than once that the answer for this reading was a no. Because to begin with, what they're saying, okay, is there's going to be I think that you two were meant to be together because this person is like that type of relationship that really changes you, that really shows you where you want to be and who you want to be, and it kind of is giving you a sense of direction. So this amazing connection had to happen so you could get a bit more direction of where you wanted to go. And so you understand the importance of a balance, a healthy balance between the heart and the mind, okay? And you actually will be very happy, but not necessarily in this connection, okay? I just feel like some of you could actually stay in this connection for a bit longer. And by a bit longer, I feel like, still a couple months, you could be together and really enjoy this connection. But in the process, you will start finding yourself and finding what you want to do and who you want to become and where you want to go. And I really find like the end of this connection will be very peaceful. It will be like two really good friends parting ways and just understanding that you were meant to meet each other to learn something, but not to stay together. And of course, there's going to be some healing to be done once that you actually split up. But it is showing that you're actually going to be taking some time off after this, okay? Now, let me see what other things are your angels telling you about this connection. So here we got separation. So there's definitely a separation in the future for you too. Or if you're already separated, I feel like some of you may actually come back together and then separate again. For some of you guys, we got compromise or engagement. But for this specifically, I wanted actually to ask your angels a bit more about why is it like you're getting back together? Some of you are actually getting back together. And the thing is, what they said is that there's someone else that is waiting for you, but it is a little bit further down, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it's not like right after this breakup, but there's someone that is actually waiting for you, and this person, it is a soulmate, okay? Now, we got wisdom. Like I told you and I mentioned, they really say that you met this person for a reason, because you're gonna come out of this experience a lot more wiser. And you also got hunger, because it's because of this connection that you get inspired and you get pushed to figure out what you want out of life. And this is why I really feel like you're gonna look back at this relationship or this connection and be like, it was really nice. It was really nice meeting you. I really don't regret anything, okay? Now they're saying bring love into the situation and step out of your comfort zone. This is Aquarius, I think Aquarius energy, yes. Then you also got conflict and surrender, okay? Conflictive, I think a lot of people actually have to be always protective of your relationship, and you feel like you have to because there's someone else, there's a third party always lurking around. But angels are saying, surrender. Like, just understand that whatever is meant to happen will end up happening, whether you try your hardest to block some people from getting in touch with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It will happen, okay, if that's what they want to do. So just surrender and just remember that your angels in the universe has the best interest, like your best interest in mind, okay? So pile number 4, I really hope that this helps. You already know the best way to support my channel is by subscribing, giving a like, comment, share with your friends. I hope that this reading gave you a bit more of guidance or clarity in your situation, but always remember that you do have free willing, and this is a general reading, okay? Only take what resonates. I hope to see you next time. Bye.